This video demonstrates the features and functions of forms in the ServiceNow user interface, including form elements and form header options. Linked timecodes for these topics appear in the YouTube description for this video. A form displays information from one record in a data table. For example, here's Joe Employee's record from the user table. Forms are displayed in the content frame. Depending on your roles in the system, you can use forms to create, view, or modify a specific record in a data table, such as Joe's user record. Here are additional examples of forms: incident, change, and knowledge. Forms in your instance may appear different from these. We'll use the incident form to demonstrate basic form elements. We're logged in as a user with the ITIL role, which is required for some actions shown here. We can access the form by opening an existing record or by creating a new record. Forms contain fields to collect and display data. These are the fields on the main part of the incident form. Each field represents an individual item of data on one incident record. The system has auto-filled some of the fields in this record. The red asterisk identifies required fields. Some forms also have sections with additional fields. Here, sections are displayed in tabs. You can enable or disable form tabs in the system settings. And click these icons to collapse or expand form sections when tabbed forms are disabled. But we'll leave tabbed forms enabled. There are many field types that could appear on a form. See the product docs for a complete list. Here are just a few examples. String fields, where users enter plain text. Choice fields, where users select from a list of choices. Boolean true-false fields, like this checkbox to indicate whether or not a draft knowledge article is to be created from this record when the incident is closed. And reference fields, where users enter or select a value from a related table. For example, the caller field must contain a value from the user table. If we enter a value that doesn't exist on that table, the field turns pink and an error message is displayed. It may be easier to enter part of the name and select the related record from a list, or use the lookup icon to browse through available values or perform a search. Our search can include wildcards. And we can use the condition builder to search multiple fields in the related table. Clicking the reference icon displays a preview of the related record, and from here we can open the user record. A shaded field means we can't change the value. For example, number is assigned by the system. And priority is calculated from the impact and urgency values. We'll discuss related search results later. List fields, like this one, are reference fields that accept multiple references rather than just one, like the caller field we showed earlier. Let's add Fred to the watch list so that he gets notified when this record is updated. And we'll add our logged-in user as well. When we select a name in the list, additional options become available. These are both journal fields, where we provide notes on a record viewable by different users. Comments are visible by all users, whereas work notes are viewable only by users with the ITIL role. Some fields are dependent on others. For example, the on hold reason field isn't displayed unless the state value is on hold. When we set the state back to new, the on hold field is hidden. We'll go ahead and complete this form. And submit it. Many forms contain one or more related lists, which display records in other tables that have relationships to the current record. Related lists don't appear until the form has been submitted and the new record created. That's why we didn't see these earlier. Here we have task SLAs, affected CIs, impacted services and CIs, and child incidents. The tabbed form system setting we showed earlier applies to related lists. Also, if a form contains many related lists, or there are many records in the related lists, the form may load slowly. You can improve form response times by changing this setting. A form usually displays only a subset of the fields on the underlying table, and users with the Personalize role can create views to specify which fields on the form are visible to which users. Users with the View Changer role can switch their form view. This doesn't affect the views of other users. Right now, we're looking at the default view. Here are the form views available to the logged-in user. Let's switch to Self-Service. The currently displayed view, if not the default view, is reflected here. Let's go back to the default view. When the Form Personalization feature is activated, users with the ITIL or Personalize Form role can personalize which fields appear on a specific form view according to their individual preferences. These changes don't affect other users. Only the fields that the form is configured to display are available. Currently, they're all selected. Checkboxes that are shaded and selected indicates that those fields cannot be hidden because they're required or are already hidden by UI policies or client scripts. For example, caller is a required field, and as we saw earlier, on hold reason is hidden unless the state is on hold. We can hide fields on the form by clearing their checkboxes in this list, or by clicking the Hide Field icon. The cleared checkbox indicates that these items are hidden. Clicking outside the Personalize Form menu saves our changes and closes the menu. To show a hidden field, we select its checkbox. Clicking Reset restores the default form view. Now we're logged in as the caller, Marcy Schultz. Here we get a different view of that same incident form. This is the self-service view. We don't have the option to change views. Forms configured with the activity formatter display a stream of activities associated with the record. Clicking the Show Activity Stream icon scrolls the page to the beginning of the stream. A count of activities is displayed here, and each activity is stamped with the activity type, date, and time. We see Beth's request and capture a screen showing the error message. To attach it, we click the Attachments icon and then select and open the file. Or we could drag and drop a file from our local file manager or desktop into the form header. File attachments are documented in the activity stream. To delete an attachment, we click the Attachments icon, select the attachments to delete, and then click Remove. We can also rename an attachment here. Reloading the form displays the updated activity stream. A formatter is a form element used to display information that is not a field in the record. For example, the activity stream is a formatter. And so is related search results. Here, the incident form displays contextual search results based on text entered in the short description field. These include knowledge articles, pinned articles, community content, and service catalog items. In this case, logged in as a customer service agent, we find a promising knowledge article that may address Marcy's issue. We preview it and then attach it to the incident. The activity formatter provides an easy way to track items not saved with a field in the record. For example, journal fields like additional comments or attachments. We can filter the content that appears on the activity formatter by selecting and clearing these checkboxes. Following a record adds the logged-in user to the activity stream conversation in Connect and sends notification of any new comments or work notes. This badge means we've received a Connect notification. Clicking it opens the Connect sidebar, and clicking a conversation here opens it in the Connect mini window. After reviewing the latest activity, we close the Connect mini window and the Connect sidebar. If we no longer want to receive notifications, we just stop following the record. Additional options are available on the form header. These vary depending on the roles of the logged-in user. For example, the Form Context menu lists actions, and more options are available here. These buttons vary depending on your role, the form you're viewing, and other factors, such as the state. When making changes to a record, click Update to save the changes and close the record. In our case, the attached KB article solved our issue, so we'll resolve the incident. And now we see that with the record in resolved state, the buttons have changed. These icons allow us to display the previous or next record. For more information, please consult our product documentation, knowledge base, or podcast, or ask a question in the ServiceNow community. For cost-effective training solutions, contact ServiceNow Training and Certification.